Floss Tube. This is Sharon Clark with Clarkey's Crafts, and this is my 7th Floss Tube video. Um, I have actually hit my 1 year mark. I made 6 videos last year, and this is my first video of the 2nd year. I want to say hello and welcome to my home. I am at my stitchy spot. If you can see, it's a little messy. Well, you can't really see. I'm in the living room, sitting on the couch. This is where I sit all the time for my stitching. Tonight, I want to do my life updates, talk about my organization of things, talk about my finishes, talk about the July stitching challenge for 24 hours of stitching, talk about my ink circle sale, talk about my stash and all the people who enabled me for it. I think that's everything. So let's start off with life updates. So as you know, I taught in the month of June. We finished the month of June up, but I also had an online class that I was teaching, and so I finished that class. I had a really good retention rate. I kept most of my students for that class, and I was also taking an online class, and I made a name in my online class. I really enjoyed the class, but I did realize something about myself as a student, and that is that I am one of the bad students. I wait till the last minute to do stuff. Well, technically I didn't, because I got to read the chapter, and it doesn't take me a while to read per se, but and that a finance book is a little hard to read. So I'd spend the week reading the chapter, and then I'd start midnight on Sunday night and do my homework, and it was due at 8 o'clock on Monday. But I did make an A in the class, and I really enjoyed it. But I won't be taking an online class during the summer again. I noticed that I tended to keep up more with the homework in the month of June and getting it done earlier in the week. As a math student, though, you really don't need to be, if you're in my class, it's really hard to do 7 assignments, which is what they had each week. 7 assignments from midnight on Sunday night to 8 a.m. on Monday morning. And, you had to be really good at math to do that. And most people that are in these classes are not really good at math because it's a remedial course. But I won't be taking an online class at night. Second thing is, I'm trying to build a house, so we were actually supposed to start, well, the bank guy told me that if all went well, we would sign the contract 1st of August. Well, that's come and gone. My builder, we were waiting on my builder to come back with an updated quote, and he was either out of town or out of country, I really don't know, and he was a couple of weeks before we got his quote. And then the appraiser came out last week, but he was behind a week or two. And so once the appraiser turns in his appraisal, then we have to see the lawyer. And the lawyer has to make sure there's no liens against the property, which there's not. And then we can start. So hopefully I'll be starting beginning of September. That would be great. As far as travels, I didn't do any traveling in the month of July. No retreats. One of my friends and coworkers, Rudy, loves to go to Columbia, Mississippi, and do antique shopping. So he called me up, and a couple weekends ago we went to town. Now, I am not an antique shopper. I am not a thrift store shopper. Really, not into that. My sisters try to get me to go. That doesn't always happen. I mean, I'll go if we're out and about, but I'm really not a yard sale person. I don't like to do yard sales at all. So he and I usually meet up at the Walmart, and then we go to, I think it's the Country 35 Diner. I'm not really sure, but it's Candy, I think her name is the owner, and it's on the highway between Columbia and Angie, Louisiana, and you can't miss it. It's a little diner on the side of the road, but there are cars parked everywhere on the side of the road, in the parking lot. At lunchtime, it's busy. She has a menu, I understand it, but most of the time people just come in for the buffet. She has a really good buffet of, it's just country food. It's home cooked food. Ham, fried fish, fried chicken, baked chicken, greens, rutabaga. She's got some really good rutabagas. Banana pudding. It's really good. Well, so we went and ate there, and then we went to Broad Street Antiques and shopped around in there. Rudy picked up a bunch of stuff. I picked up a couple of things, but what I found, or my big find this time, was two chairs. My grandmother had a set of dining chairs, and my mother bought them at a garage sale for my grandmother, umpteen 20, 30 years ago. I don't really know. I was older than 15. I'm 52 now, so whenever it was. And so my mom has those chairs, and they're in her house. And I found two chairs that look almost exactly like them. If you weren't looking really hard, you would not notice the difference. You would think they were the same chairs. So I told Mama when I came home with the chairs, I bought both of them for $20 a piece. And they're old chairs, and they're sturdy. I have a set of chairs that I bought in the 90s, and my father has had to fix the little bars between the legs. They're all pulled apart. They're good solid seating area, but the legs are kind of wobbly. And these chairs are older than that, way older than that, and they are real sturdy. So I'm going to take and when I build my house, I'm going to use those chairs in my house, but I'm going to take all of them and strip them down and revarnish them. Yeah, I know that's a lot of work, but hopefully I've used some new varnish remover that kind of like just makes it easier to clean it up. So I'm going to do that and then reupholster the seating part of it. So I'm pretty happy about that. So I got 8 or 10 chairs now. I don't remember. I think it's 10. So I can put them my dining room. What else? Talked about the class. Talked about the hot car. Talked about that. So I haven't been anywhere. I don't plan on going anywhere. I am doing the July. No, I keep saying July. The August marathon, which is this weekend. It starts tomorrow. I think Jen Lee did a live video today because I think she has to work tomorrow. So I'm going to start it tomorrow, and you have to do 24 hours of stitching. Well, you can do whatever you want, but I'm going to do 24 hours of stitching in 48 hours. So that's, what's going. That's the big excitement that's going on in my life right now. I don't think there's going to be any more retreats this year. Maybe one more. I'm not really sure. I'll have to look and see. But that's about all the plans I have right now. So the next thing I want to do is talk about my finishes. So let me get my finishes together. What I want to do is I want to do them in the order that I finished them. So let me get my book so I can do that. So July 3rd, I finished. Oh, no, I wanted to do my organizations first. All right, so before I do that, my cousin Liz and I went to Michael's last weekend, and we were shopping around looking at stuff, and I found some tags. They're $5 for 24. Well, I went over to the little scanner thing to scan the barcode to see the price, and they came up at $1.50 a bag. So I bought 4 packets. I was thinking that I could use them for my project bags. So what I did is what I used to do. Let me get one of my old one. Like this is an example of an old one. It got pretty rough, but I had an index card and I printed out the name of the project with my label maker, and I would attach it to the front of the bag. I had to put the little hole covers because they would rip. And then I got lazy and I did something like this. Okay. So I thought I would do this instead. They look kind of cute. They're already fancy schmancy. And so I put the name of the project and the date that I started. Then I thought, why don't I put, not that one, Well, let's do this one. Why don't I put the date I started, the date that I finished on it, and that way I can keep up with these little cards and at the end of the year know exactly what I finished that year. So that's, I know, yeah, I know. I started in the middle of July, but that's okay. Half a year, I can do that. So I have these all on my project bags, my Vana bags that I made, where you can't see anything. But then all of my projects that have the cover, and this is a bag, I think her name is Kearns, Kim Kearns. I know she sells on Instagram. I met her at a conference. I like her bags. I have different types of bags from different types of people. I have this one. I have some from Jennifer too. Um, so on those bags, I did the same thing again. So every bag, every project has a card. See, I got my Vana bags that I made. I have Kim Kearns bags. I have a Jennifer Reagan bag. Cool, huh? Actually, I have two Jennifer Reagan bags. I have that bag, and Jen Stitch and Knitch, and that bag. I got those from Jennifer. And then I have this one I got as a an exchange. I like that one. I think those are all of them. I have mostly Vana bags. I saw Vana make the bags, and I was just amazed, loved them. She's the Twisted. If you don't know Vana, I believe you don't know Vana, but if you don't know Vana, there's a Twisted Stitcher. But I am not a seamstress. You can see like right there, see, my seams are not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's perfect for me. And these hold, these are pretty good bags. But anyway, got off track. So all of my project bags now have those little labels on them. And I've got, like I said, I bought 4 packs. And so I'm going to use, like next year I'll use 1 pack. Use them as we go along. Now, you know about this thing. Here. Okay. I apologize for the mess. My nephew spilt water or something all over it. I don't know. So technically I am behind because I still have this one to finish from March, and we are in August. So you'll see they're empty. If they're filled in, that means I either finished them or if it's like Snowcatcher, Green Door, Room with a View, those are whips that I was supposed to work on that month and not necessarily finish that month. But then, and the new starts, I was supposed to start them, but not necessarily finish them. Now the ones above those two, I wanted to finish them or finish that part that month. So for example, Tuffet's Cupboard 2, Tuffet's Cupboard 2, Tuffet's Cupboard 2, and Tuffet's Cupboard 2. In 4 months I was supposed to finish it. So in these months I just filled them in if I worked on it. The last month I had to fill in if I finished it. So I'm a little bit behind. And then I also had what I stitched on each day. And so, on the first day of the month I did Wicked Patch. The second day of the month I did Tuffet's Cupboard, and so on and so forth. Well, you can see I started out doing pretty good. Well, here's July. I changed my focus in July, so I wasn't doing this. But if I worked on it, I marked it off. I didn't necessarily work on it that day, but if I worked on it in the month of July, I marked it off. The idea was I was supposed to work on these the day that it's numbered, and I did. Well, now I've updated it, and I got a new one for starting in August, and of course I'm already behind. Today is the 8th, and I've only worked on the first 2. But like I said, we've got the marathon, and I'm gonna try and work on these 8, 9, 10, 10 or 11 in this weekend and try to get caught up on these. Well, technically, I can mark happily ever after because I did work on it this month already. But I'm gonna try to stick with this plan and at least put one thread in each night. Well, I kind of changed my plans on this. My goal is to have them finished by the end of the year, but not necessarily like this. So in the month of July, I decided I was going to focus on finishing my oldest whips. So my 4 oldest whips are Robin Hood by Country Cottage Needlework, Wicked Patch by the Cricket Collection, Vicki Hastings, um, Tuffet's Cupboard by Just Another Button Company, and 6 Fat Men, which I think is a Lizzie cake. So that was my focus. I'm trying to get those 4 done. Well, I didn't finish them all 4 in July, but I finished 2 3/4 of the 4 um, in July and the 1st of August this week. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into my finishes, and then do those in order, and then I'll look at my July challenge. So my finishes, like I said, my first finish was, I lost my little book. S is for sheep. This is an Elizabeth's design. I don't know why I started it. I do know that I started it for School of Magical Stitches. But I don't remember if there was, because it had to have a sheet, because it had to have a color, whatever. But it is stitched on, it looks like a Silk Weaver Solo Mini with DMC floss. It's either 28 or 32, because most of my fabric is either 28 or 32. Mostly 28, but I do have some 32. Okay, so then my second finish of the year was, or the month, excuse me, was this kit that I got at a retreat. They gave us the fabric, the pin, and this lace. So I grabbed a cream linen out of my stash and stitched it. Now, the pattern has just the word bee, and I wanted, because there are bees all over it, see all the little bees? I wanted the bee, the word bee. So the letter E is 5 columns plus the blank space in the middle, which means I had to add 3 on each side. So I added 3, moved it out 3 each way, and made it fit. This is done on just typical plain linen that you can get at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, a cream color with DMC floss. So I'm going to put this all together and make a pillow out of when I do my finishing. The next thing that I stitched and finished was my oldest whip, which is, upside down, Robin Hood by Little House Needlework. Look at those birds, and look at her dress. It's so pretty. Now there are mistakes. Yes, there are mistakes in here. I did a little bit of frogging, but not a lot. But the border works, so we're good. And you can't really tell where the mistakes are. So I think it turned out really cute. I am a Robin Hood fanatic, and I am a King Arthur fanatic. If there's a movie about Robin Hood, I'm going to buy it. For example, when we were on our way to Ireland, we were watching, the movies on the plane, and one of them was Robin Hood, and I cannot think of the name of the guy that was in it. It's one of the new ones with the guys jumping off the walls and parkouring, or whatever it's called, where they're jumping from one side of the building to the other and shooting 5 arrows with one hand. And it was a really good movie. I liked it. I mean, it's for the ages. It's pretty good. I own every one that I can find. I've got the Kevin Costner Robin Hood. I've got the Russell Crowe Robin Hood. I've got the Robin Hood, the series from the BBC. I actually have the oldest, those old Robin Hood movies from way back. I have the Disney Robin Hood. My father has been on a movie kick. He's 85 years old, and he had a stroke a couple of years ago, and he can't do what he wants to do, so he's been, he wants to plow and garden, and he doesn't have the stamina or the strength to do that, so he's been sitting at home watching movies. And so he's got all of my just about every cartoon that I own is over there at his house. And he called me right before this video, wanted to watch Harry Potter. And so he's watching Harry Potter, the first one. He says, how many of them are there? I told him there were 8. He goes, can I watch them all? I said, I have all 8 of them. You can watch them all. So he's going to watch all 8 of them. Hopefully he will enjoy himself. That was Robin Hood. So then the next thing I bought, or I made, is not a cross-stitch project. It's a sewing project. My sister Jennifer, I'm moving stuff off of what I want to do. I'm going to show you. My sister Jennifer, excuse me, babe. Thank you, ma'am. Wanted to make a jelly roll run. And I never turn my sister Jennifer down when she wants to do a craft. I said, sure, I'll do one. So I bought my jelly roll at Tuesday mornings. And I went and bought the padding that goes inside, and I made the padding, I think last month, in June, maybe May or June. And I had it in it rolled up in a big ball, and I said, Jennifer, now that you've finished yours, will you do mine? And she's like, sure, I'll do it. And I'm like, well, I thought, I need to do it. I should have made her do it, honestly. I finished it. I cussed like a sailor, threatened to throw my sewing machine off the top of the building. Honestly, I'd have climbed up there and threw it off the top of the building if I could have. But I didn't. I finished the project. It took me 3 spools of thread to completely do this. So you take the jelly roll, you put the padding in the middle, and then you fold it, and then you sew it all the way down. Well, first of all, you have to sew all the little pieces together. So let me see if I can find a spot. So you sew each strip together, and then you put the padding in the middle, and you fold it, you sew it. And then you zigzag these together. And I didn't do a very good job, because, it's not that flat. But, like I said, 3 spools of thread to finish it. But I got it done. I'm not that great, you see, I'm not that great a stitcher. I can't sew in a straight line. You see? I don't know why I can't sew in a straight line, but I do not like my sewing machine because it does this. And so when I'm sewing, I'm pulling the fabric this way because it's pulling the fabric this way. Just to get a straight line, look, now you can't do a straight line. Just to get a straight line, I have to turn it this way because it's turning it that way. And so I never get a straight line, and I never get like a 1/8 or 1/4. I don't get any of that. It's just whatever happens. Well, my sewing machine lasted until the very end, and then all of a sudden, when we got to the end of it, where's it at? I probably shouldn't show it to you. There it is. It ate my fabric. Took it down into the wheels, down in the feet, when I was trying to tuck it. But I just hand sewed it. Let's see, right there. I just hand sewed over it so it would not fray. So it doesn't have a whole lot of it does have a little bit, because you're sewing in the round, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I ironed it. I spray starched it with Best Press. I drowned it in Best Press and ironed it. I got on the floor like the lady showed on the video and pressed it, pressed it, pressed it. And so when it's laying flat, you don't see it. When they pick it up, you kind of see the warble in it. But I threw it on the floor in the office, and my cats take turns sleeping on it. If you can't find the cat, go in the office. One of them's laying on that rug. I don't think I'll ever do another one. I'm not really a great seamstress like I showed you with my little bags. I don't know. I scream and holler and throw little fits while I use my sewing machine, and it may just be the sewing machine, but it's probably me. I just can't do it. So I keep my sewing machine, and I go months without doing anything on the sewing machine, and I'm like, well, let me try something, because I made my little humbug bags. I made my little humbug bags, and that wasn't too bad. Of course, I drew these lines, and they sewed on. I sewed them. They're not perfect because I can't draw a straight line because they're supposed to be the same size square, but they're not. But I put in the zippers. It looks good. It turned out okay. But then, yeah, that did turn out not like I wanted it, but it turned out. It looks good on the floor. So the next thing that I finished was my Main Street Cafe. Which one is it? Where is it at? Where is it at? There it is. Main Street Cafe. I finished that. And then I started working on the grocery store. Okay. So when I finish, it's going to hang like this. Okay. I started upside down by accident. I want my post office to be at the top with, I'm going to put a little bench next to the post office with the American flag and like, I don't know, a little mailbox or something back there and some kind of pond or tree line in the background. So I want my flag, my American flag, upright. So there it is. Like I told you, that door is supposed to be on this side. I flipped it for no reason because I'm crazy. And that door is supposed to be on this side. And again, I don't know why. Because see, I wanted the doors to face into the town. These two won't. So when I do this picture over here, I got to make sure that the door faces into the town because both of these face in and both of those face out. These two are going to be facing one another as well. Okay, so what's left out of those, right here. I was showing my bag and threw it down there instead. I have, so I'm working on the grocery, which looks like that. Towards the middle. And then I still have the art gallery. The bakery. And the post office. And then I want to put the gazebo in the middle. And a fountain in the middle. And last time I showed you that pattern with all the flowers on it. That's the one I'm going to use and try to fill in the middle with all kinds of flowers and stuff. So that's my goal for that one. I'd like to finish this one this year, but it probably will be next year when I finish that one. But I'll keep showing you my progress. The next one that I had a lot of work done on is my Happily Ever After. There's the Happily Ever After bag. Where's the Happily Ever After picture? Okay, sorry, I couldn't find it. All right, so my happily ever after picture. Now, I had finished, I think I'd already finished Billy Grow Gruff. Well, that's the one I finished on the 18th. The March one. And then there was a weekend. Let me look right quick. There was a weekend that the School of Magical Stitches had an extra credit assignment, which was to, for every 100 stitches, I think you got a point. And I worked on this one, and I did over 3,000 stitches in the weekend, and I watched all 8 Harry Potter movies. All 8. Oh, I take that back. It wasn't 3,000. It was 2,383 stitches. I've been saying 3,000, and it's not. That was July 30th. It says that that can't be right. I'll have to look at my other phone, because I did that. It says July 30th, but I think I did that before July 30th. Maybe not. Yeah, there it is. July 20th. I finished those 3 on July 20th. That's what it was. So, see if I can show you my picture. July 20th. See. $2,383 stitches is what it took to make those. So it's Little House on the Prairie, The Wind in the Willow, and Aladdin. Okay. And then, I think last week, I had to do 200 stitches on a project that contained my Patronus for School of Magical Stitches. And my Patronus is a swan. And we all know that the ugly duckling turns into a swan. So there's my swan. So I did those 200 stitches right there. That's the border. It's going to look kind of like the border up here. You see the border up there? So I've got King Arthur, Pride and Prejudice, and Sleeping Beauty left. The ones that I have left. And I think this is pretty cool because Robin Hood, one of my favorites. King Arthur, my other favorite. And then I loved Little House on the Prairie. I've read all those books. My mother loves Heidi. She said that's one of her favorite books. So, and my sister Jennifer loves Pride and Prejudice. So that covers a lot of territory. The next thing that I worked on and finished was Wicked Patch. Now this was a retreat special. I went to Silver Needle in Tulsa. I think it's Tulsa. I think it's Tulsa. My sister Jennifer, Bridget, and I, we went, and this was the year. It was either 2013 or 2014. This was the special because Vicki Hastings was the person, the designer that was the guest speaker there. So this is what it's supposed to look like. I haven't put the beads on mine. And her pattern, when we got it, we got the pattern, we got the fabric, and we got the floss, which was DMC floss. There was only 3 specialty threads that we had, which I don't mind. I love DMC. So the specialty threads were Silken Colors, Acorn Woods, Autumn Bouquet, and Krynic Chartreuse. And I don't know if this is a week style work fabric or if it's the called for fabric. I really don't remember, because I think we did the button. Just Another Button Company was there that year. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to show the pattern. Just Another Button Company was there, and Vicki Hastings was there that year. So it's probably the call for fabric, which was Garden State Java, 30 count, and I think it's Nordencrafts was the fabric. So I had a hard time with this pattern to start with, because if you'll look at that pumpkin right there, you'll see that there are 2 different colors that are just side by side, almost the same color. And I got confused and messed it up somehow. I had to pull it out. So, and it's a lot of stitches on there. Now, the cat, if you look at the cat, I hope you can see that it's fuzzy thread, because the pattern calls for French knots, and I am not a good French knot person. So I went and found fuzzy thread that I had from when I was doing needlepoint and stitched him with the fuzzy thread. So there's that pattern. That's my second oldest whip. I started on it the same year, or worked on it the same year that I did the Robin Hood. And then what I'm working on now, and technically I finished, well, let me do this one first. All right. This one is the Bent Creek's Shake It Up Snow Globe. Okay. That, I was working on this for my July challenge. And I chose to do 480 stitches on my project. This one right here, I had the 2 trees, the 3 snowmen, and the light blue to do. 470 stitches. 470 stitches. Not 480. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So I decided I was going to put the buttons on. And so I only used one through the button, or through the bead. And so for every 2 beads it counted as a cross stitch. Well, they're like 38, I think it's 38 beads. Well, I've been watching Floss Tube, because I've spent, the month of July was my vacation month. So I have sat where I'm at right now, majority of the month of July, when I wasn't doing errands or cleaning house, which I didn't do a lot of house cleaning, but I've been sitting here stitching and watching Floss Tube. And so I got this. Oops, got through. Now, I was watching Arizona Needleworker, I think that's her name, and I watched how she put her beads on, because I mean, you saw the 2 Mill Hill buttons that I did, or projects that I did, and I followed the rules, diagonally or a cross stitch. Well, I was watching Arizona Stitcher, and what she does is she takes and she comes up through here, goes through the bead, and goes down through there. And so the bead sits right in that little pocket. So, oops, hold on a second. So if you look, see? And they stand up. I like that better than the other one. They're not diagonal. I don't like the diagonal. I like them straight up and down. I usually put an X in mine so that they'll be straight up and down. Well, now I don't have to waste thread by doing it twice. So I think I'm going to make this into a no-sew cube. Now, on this one, in the pattern, she shows you how to make it into a wall hanging, but I think I'm going to make that a no-sew cube as well. I think that would be cute as a no-sew cube, and I think this would be as cute as a no-sew cube. Now, my third oldest whip, which is what I've been working on, I finished the Snow Globe July 29th, and I finished Wicked Patch August 1st. And I finished part 2 of this is Tuffet's Cupboard, on August 4th, and I finished part 3 on August 7th, yesterday. So part 2 is somewhere like this part right here. Last time I showed this, I had done the outer box down here. These weren't here. None of this was here. None of the inside of this was here. It was just the outside of the box. So I finished up this part right here on the 4th. Well, either this one or this one, I noticed on the pattern that it didn't match. with the front of the picture. And then I started looking at this part right here. And it didn't match. And I realized that this, and this are all supposed to be back with the same color, 939. Well, this, if you go back and look at my previous video, has that red right there. And I went ahead and pulled that out and put the black in, the 939 in. But when you look at this, this was done like this. See how it's a red and a pink flower? Well, I wasn't going to pull out all this. I pulled out the spool and put in a blue because it's right next to a yellow, and my high school colors were blue and yellow. And then I changed the pink flower to a yellow flower to make it stand out. So, if you want to see, on the pattern, they have two dots that look very similar. You see? This is a corner, that reddish color, and this is that black. So I think they misprinted the symbol on those pieces. So anyway, I finished up that, and then I did these 3 pieces, and I finished those. And then last night, I finished all the inside here, all this stuff here, and started on the background. So see, this color right here is going to be filled all the way down as a background. The scissor, once I do that, the scissors need to be outlined, this needs to be outlined, and then the word USA is going to be put in here, and then like the little marks on the stamp will be put there. And then all of the stitching will be done, and as you can see from the pattern, there are lots of buttons that will need to be added. And I have the entire button pack. I will have to add it, but that'll be, I have a day where I sit down and put buttons on stuff, and so I'll wait till that day. But hopefully, I was going to try to finish this tonight, finish that tonight. There's no way. And then tomorrow is Friday. It's actually already Friday now. It's midnight. On Fridays, I work Monday through Thursday usually. And Fridays is my shopping day for grocery shopping and Sam's shopping and that kind of stuff, or doctor's appointments. So this Friday, well, today my cousin Liz and I went and played. We went shopping, but it was like Cato's and Hobby Lobby and Michael's. Tomorrow is the serious shopping. We got to go to Walmart and Sam's. So we'll do that tomorrow. So sorry. It is midnight. I should have gone to bed instead of doing this, but I want to do this anyway. So my goal is to finish that up. So those were my finishes for July. I am now going to talk about that July challenge. Sorry, I had to write something down. That July challenge. I did the July challenge. Now, Jen Lee makes a little form for you to fill out to keep up with for yourself. That's the June one. And for some reason, I printed it out twice. I can't keep up with it. I've lost it twice. I don't know where it's at. So here is the July challenge. So the word or the acrostic for the July challenge was Team 24-Hour. And so for T, I did Tough It's Covered, which you just saw. And for E, I did Elizabeth Foster is the name of the person. Elizabeth's Designs or the Little Leaf Designs. I don't know which one is the right name, but they're there. So this is what I was going to do. Now this one, everything else I did 480 stitches because this one I didn't have a whole lot of cross stitching left to do. So I did 48 minutes instead of 480 stitches. So all I have left to do is this, and then the satin stitches, those 6 spots of satin stitch, and the stairs. So I did this on regular natural linen. That's dark natural linen, 28 count. And so as you can see, oops, sorry, I'm working on this part right here and this part right here. But I only have those 6 pieces and the stairs left to do. So this weekend is the August marathon, and I'm hoping to finish this in the August marathon. That's my goal. I plan on having 3 things finished by Sunday. One is Tuffet's Cupboard. This one is the second one, and the third one we'll get to in a few minutes. So that was E. A was Amy Brecken's. Amy Brecken's Home of the Brave. Nope, that's not it. I don't know. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. Home of the Brave. So, this is the Home of the Brave. Now, before, I had the word brave, the letter H, and I'd started on the body because I think I had to stitch on black thread. And so this is what I've got. So I'm really excited because I did the H and then I came up here and did the black. I didn't stitch the stuff in the middle because I needed to do the black. And I went on and finished the word and did the mound and did the feet, and look, it matched. I didn't have to pull anything out. Now I do have to come back and fill in here with another red. Okay, so this is the call for fabric. It is 30 count straw gingham from Weeks Dye Works. I am stitching it on the call for linen. On the call for linen with DMC floss. I don't use specialty flosses that often because I like to go to the end and come back. I don't like to do individual stitches. And I know Teresa Kitten Stitcher goes to the end and comes back with a specialty thread. I am trying to make myself do that. I don't know. I have a basket full of specialty thread. You would think that I liked it, but I don't have that much. I don't use it that much. For M, it was Main Street. I was worked on the grocery. I had to do 480 stitches, so the pink that was done, that was 480 stitches. For the number 2, I decided to do Franny Ritter Designs, the dolphin plate, because there are 2 dolphins. Now, before I started, I had the word summer, and I had the bottom blue all the way around down in here, and the yellow done. That's all I had done. And I did this on Ada fabric, light blue Ada fabric. It was in my stash, so I did it. This was a Stitch Mania project because this year's Stitch Mania I was doing smalls. So this was a small that I had. Not that I bought it. I think I got it as a in a goodie bag. I think is what I had. So what I've done is I've done the coral colored fish, the bodies of the dolphin, and this lighter blue. That's all I've done. And I did there's a medium color blue. It's kind of hard to see. There are 2 color blues right there. I did the lighter color as well. But as you can see, it's a full on stitch. And if I would have been lucky, and if I'd have thought about it, I might have been able to get away with doing last week's assignment, which was to do red thread or red beads. And they have some of the red in beads and the fish in beads. And I could have done that, and I might have been able to do, see the beading? I could have done that, but I had already stitched some of the stuff that red without beads, so that's okay. It's okay. I don't have to do all the homework assignments. I don't have to be 100%. Alright, the next one I did was for the number 4, and that was Wicked Patch because there were 4 pumpkins. You've already seen that one. The Happily Ever After, I had to do 480 stitches. I kind of doubled up, I think, with the School of Magical Stitches and them when I did the 3 together. The O was the snow globe because it was a circle. And then the U, I used the theme Under the Sea. And so I worked on my Sea Hag. She's the 3rd one I'm planning on finishing this weekend because she is oh so close. I'm stitching her on an exclusive limited edition Fabric of the Month 28 count Cashel linen from Silk Weaver. All I have is her hair and the word Sea Hag. It's back stitching, see? Her hair and the word Sea Hag. That's all I have left to do. So I'm going to do that. That's going to be one of the ones I'm going to try to finish up. So my goal is to have 3 finishes this weekend. And then the last one was Robin Hood. So I did 480 stitches on all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 projects. The one project I did 48 minutes. I was only going to do 24, but then I still had some cross stitching to do, so I went ahead and did 48. So that's my July challenge. Like I said, I'm going to be participating in the marathon this weekend. I'm going to do 24 hours and 48. My last time I did a project an hour. I just worked on a project an hour, so every hour I switched up. This time, I think I'm going to do a finish. I'm going to try to finish. So I'm going to do 3 finishes for sure, get those done, and then try to finish another one. So we'll see. Now, I still need to do my snowman, which I think is over here. My 6 fat men. Yeah, it's right here. That's the next project, because this is a 2015 project. This is what it's supposed to look like. I have, and I did it on a blue, so like the word right there. Sorry, it's not focusing. The words up there kind of blend in with my fabric, but I've done these 2 and I'm working on that one. So I have these 3 left to do. And those are the ones I'm going to work on next. I'm doing this on, I don't know. That's what's on the edge. Maybe it's a picture of this Floss. I really don't know what it is. But it's white on the back, colored on the front. So, as you can see, I've got 2 of them done, 2 and probably a 3rd. I need to finish that up, and I'm going to work on this one until I finish it. That's my goal. That's going to be the next one. So I have, just kind of show you the ones that are left. Snow Day. Let It Snow. And Snow Fun. And I'm working on this one. I got to put 1,000 stitches in it. 1,000 stitches in it. Either this one or Lucky Cat. I haven't decided yet which one I'm going to do for my 1,000 stitches. But we got to pick something that's just, I don't want to do. And the 2 that I don't want to do right now are the 6 Fat Men and the Lucky Cats. The Lucky Cats is this one. And I don't know why I don't want to do this one. But here's what I've got done so far. And I'm working on Ada. It I got hung up on the nose, and I still don't think my nose is right. It just doesn't look right. And I don't know what count that is. It's a small count. All right, so my sal, I'm doing the ink circle sal, and I'm doing it because this is the one that I did before. This is a Celtic Mystery Stitch Along from Ink Circles, and I absolutely love it. And yes, I got a blue ribbon for it when I submitted it for the fair. I just am happy if I get a blue ribbon. I'm not, you know, because I am not going to lay my stitches. If you look really close, they're not laying like they're supposed to. I stitch in hand. So Jen Lee enabled me. She was talking about this, and I went and looked, and yes, because I did that one, I knew I wanted to do this one. So here's what I've got done so far. So see that border? I've got to do this all the way around, but then I got to fill it in. And then if you'll see right there, I need to fill all of those in with white. Now, the one thing I wish I'd have done is I wish I would have done the lighter blue on the inside and the darker blue on the outside. Because technically, if you look at like an overview shot of the ocean, it's lighter in color next to the land and it's darker where it's deeper. Well, I didn't think about it when I was stitching it. I did my dark color first, and then I did my light. Well, I thought about it, but I'd already put my land in, so I'm like, well, I'll just put my lighter. So these are going to be the lands, and this is going to be my ocean. And I'm waiting on the next installment. But the other thing I'm going to be working on this weekend is this, to see how much of the border I can get finished. Because that's all I have left. Is I'm behind technically because I haven't finished my border. But we'll see. We shall see. Now, talk about my haul and talk about being enabled. I should not sit on my couch and watch Floss Tube with my cell phone next to me because I spend too much money that way. I was watching Arizona Needleworker, I think's her name, and she does beautiful work, and she has, sometimes I think she's crazy because she does those heaven and earth designs. I am amazed if somebody can finish those things, but I don't know why I'm a little amazed about that, because I have done a couple of full coverage. I did a lighthouse with it's a sunset lighthouse for my sister Jennifer, and it was full coverage, and it was like 8 by 10 full coverage. But I just stitched it. I didn't do any of this parking or doing 100 by 10 by 10 block or anything like that. I just stitched it, and maybe because I was crazy, I don't know. And then I also did a Teresa Witzler for my brother-in-law hobby. I did the dragon around the castle, and it had a lot of color change and a lot of blending of threads and stuff, and I just stitched it. I don't know, but I watched her, and I'm looking at all this stuff that she's working on and thinking, man, that's beautiful, man, I really need to do that. So she loves her chatelaines, and she was talking about her chatelaines, and she talked me into a chatelaine. I absolutely love this one. It's only 105 by 105. It's a mini mandala mystery number 3, 2008. I love it. I won't be starting it till 2020, but I love it. I gotta pick out my fabric, and then I gotta decide. I'm gonna do most of it in DMC, but I gotta decide which silken colors I want to do with it. All right. Another thing that she was talking about is the Lizzie Kate 3 little words. Be kind always, enjoy every moment, forgive, move on, think happy thoughts. You've got this. Be you bravely. Today, choose joy, keep it simple. Never give up, make it happen. Dreaming is free, believe in miracles, and then embrace the journey. Life is good. So she was working on that, and I love Lizzie Kate's, and I mean I've done the Halloween rules, and I've done something else of hers that was like this. So I went ahead and I got Jennifer to order these for me, and I'm going to do those next year. And then she showed it. She didn't have to show it very long, the Arizona needleworker. And I ordered it before she finished talking about it. And it came in today. It's called the Kingdom of Books, I think. It's 77 centimeters by 28 centimeters, which I think is 30 inches by 11 inches. It came with the thread and the fabric. It came with 8 of fabric, I think. But I thought this was in the fabric. No, that's being cross-stitched. So I might change my fabric and get something with modeling on it. Then again, it's books on a shelf, so I might just go ahead and stitch it. I absolutely love this. Paid $38 for it. Ordered it from Russia. It came in pretty quick. It wasn't due until the end of the month. 1st of September. I got it today in the mail. Love it, love it, love it. This is going to be my January 1st start. 2020. Now, I've been watching, like I told y'all, I start watching, so I watch all their videos. So, Jen Stitch and Knitch, I watched all of hers. Vanna, the Twisted Stitcher, watched all of hers. Susie Reno, all of hers. The Southern Ladybug, all of hers. Jen Lee, Quirks and Stitches, watched all of hers. So, I've been doing that. And then Arizona Needleworker was my last person. And right now I'm watching Kitten Stitcher. So, some enablement from the other people is Miss Lisha from Southern Ladybug, the Southern Ladybug, talked about the sulky thread, and so did Arizona Needleworker. Well, I don't like the DMC white. I end up railroading it because it just does not cover. I do know that if I use my Thread Heaven on it or my other stuff, this is something that Susie Reno enabled me a few months back. The Unicorn Thread Gloss. Mine is Love Spell. So this is back from February. It's from Robot Mom Sews. Is the person who makes and sells this. I use that. If I use that on my thread, they kind of lay side by side a little better. But I still don't like the coverage of white. And Miss Lisha was talking about how this is like 1.5 DMCs, because it's supposed to be equivalent to 2 pieces of DMC, but it's really more like 1.5. So I bought it to try it. And I've tried the black, and I used 2 blacks, and I got better coverage with that. So I really wanted to use it for the white and the ecru, but I got this for a pretty decent price, and so I'm going to try it. Kid Stitcher, Teresa, talked about how the Anchor Floss is, the black Anchor has better coverage, so I ordered some black Anchor, and it does have better coverage. I used a little bit of it, but I haven't used a whole lot of it. And I can't find my box that has it in there. So I don't know. That's the MC. I don't know where it's at. So, and I couldn't find it for my video. But I did order some. Now, the only thing I'm thinking about doing, and I haven't seen, I haven't got it yet. I called my sister, or I text message my sister Jennifer and asked her if she could get it through her shop, Jen's Stitching Niche. And she said she'd check and find out. Is both Susie Reno and Vanna have talked about the needle with the little ballpoint on the end. Well, just I want to show you why. It's hard to see. But if you look right there on my finger, I don't mean to do a bad thing. Can you see it? I barely can myself. I do the sewing method, and I hold my hand behind the fabric, and so I have been stabbing myself in the finger and cutting down my finger. So I have little cuts in my finger because I've been stitching so much. I've just about built up a callus on my finger there from stitching, stabbing myself, stab. I've even got blood on because I've stabbed myself. And I thought, well, if it's got a little ball on the end, maybe I won't be, number one, they say it doesn't split the thread, but maybe I won't be stabbing myself when I'm sewing. So I asked her to see if she can get some. If she can get some, I will order them. If not, I'll probably do. If she can't get them, then I'll probably go online and look for them and get them. But if those needles are as good as Susie Reno and Vanna Pfeiffer say, then I probably will definitely get some and keep them. Because like I said, I have put a callus on my finger. Maybe I haven't been working today, and that's why it's not so bad. But I have been watching Floss Tube. This, like I said, I finally got it. I used to have to watch it on my tablet with my little speaker, and all of a sudden my Blu-ray will now do YouTube, and it will actually load on my Blu-ray. So I've been watching it on the TV, and so I've watched, like I said, in this month I did Arizona Needleworker, and I've been working on Kitten Stitcher. And the way I do it is if I find a new person, I start with their very first one, and I work forward. So right now, I'm caught up on Jen's Stitching Niche, Susie Reno, Jen Lee, Quirks and Stitches, and Lisha, the Southern Ladybug. I actually watched each of their newest ones this week. I am on like number 22 or 23 of Kitten Stitcher. I did fall behind on the Farm Girl. I don't know. I'm thinking I have to start all over because I don't remember where I was. And I thought that YouTube kept up with the ones that you knew and that you'd watched, but it keeps trying to replay ones. Like with Arizona Needleworker, it kept going backwards instead of forwards. I had to stop it because it was like the next one up. I'd be on number 18. It'd go back to 17. So it was, I don't know. It hasn't been acting right. So I have to stop it and go to the next one on my own. So I have to write down which one I'm working on. I do have a few other names that I've been, like when I'm listening to people talk about who they watch, I've been writing it down. So I'm going to start checking out some more people. I don't know. I'm just amazed that people watch mine at all. I don't know. I do it because I think it's fun. At least it documents what I finished. If nobody else but me watches it. It's like my blog. Of course, my blog, when I'm home, it's hard to blog because I like to upload pictures and our internet is really slow. Like this video, I'm going to Walmart tomorrow and upload it at Walmart, or I'm going to, somewhere and upload it somewhere else because I can't upload it at home. It will not upload it. It will be all day, and then it'll say 2%. If a worst case scenario, I'll go to the office and do it because it'll upload like that. So when I blog, I like to put in pictures. So I haven't blogged since May or June. But once school starts back up, I'll start blogging some more because I can do it at work during my lunch break. So, but I do that for myself. I don't know if anybody even reads my blogs anymore, but I do it for myself. At the end of the year, I copy everything into a document on my computer so that I know what I've stitched and what I finished and all that kind of stuff. So, is there anything else? Can y'all think of anything else? All right, well, I don't think of anything else. So thank you so much for stopping by and watching my video. If you made it this long, it's an hour and 10 minutes. I was a little longer than I planned. I want to only be an hour or under. But I had quite a bit to talk about today and kind of rambled a little bit. Sorry, I did. But like I said, I'm in my where I've been sitting all month, so I just went ahead and did it here instead of in my office. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the videos that you make. Thank you for the encouragement. I hope you enjoy your stitching. Come join us with a 24 hours of stitching marathon this weekend. It's fun. You can do as little or as much as you want. Jen Lee Quirks and Stitches is the person who is running it. There's a hashtag 24 hours of cross stitch on Facebook and on Instagram. Look us up. It's fun. If you haven't tried the School of Magical Stitches, try it. That's fun. You do about 1,000 stitches a week. I think that's what it seems like we're doing. It's about 1,000 stitches a week on different projects. I'm really enjoying it. Hope to see you again. Thanks for coming by. Bye. I watched Jen Reagan, and she had talked about Stick Horse Designs. She had sent her the wrong pattern, and the lady sent the pattern back, but she also sent Jennifer, because Jennifer sent her the pattern, a project bag. And so I went online and I ordered a project bag. And so this is the one I ordered. It's from Stick Horse Designs. I just love that. And then I love that fabric. Okay. So the last thing that I have is Jennifer and Bridget and Lisha, Katrina, and I are going to put on the hat. We're going to be doing this as a stitch along. And I think we're going to start mid-August. I don't remember. I have it written down. But that's a new start. That's my new start for August. I'm putting that as my new start for August. Because, you know, there went Esmeralda. You know, I do one new start a month on the 19th. And I'm going to make this my new start for August, even if it's not on the 19th. I was going to do the Erica Michaels one, but I guess I'll save that one for September. Hi, Floss Tube. I didn't get my video loaded when I wanted to, so I went ahead and added this little piece about the 24-hour cross-stitch marathon. I did 18 hours in a 48-hour window, and I had a goal to finish 3 projects, and I finished all 3 projects. So here's the first one that I finished. It's from Just Another Button Company. Oops, upside down. Tuffet's Cupboard. I only had that piece left to do. And so now all I have to do is the buttons. The second thing I did was Sea Hag by Pickle Barrel Design. All I had left to do was her hair and the word Sea Hag. And I finished it. And then the third one was The Green Door by Elizabeth's Design. I had the satin stitching for the steps, the white satin stitching in the door frame and the 2 plants on the side. And I finished those. So 18 hours of stitching in a 48-hour window. I'm very happy I accomplished my goals. Thank you for stopping by. Bye.